Hello, this is Peter Martin from Martin Insurance Group. I'd like to thank you for your business, and I hope you get value from this brief video. Over the past year, there has been a notable shift in how insurance carriers audit workers' compensation, particularly regarding the classification of contractors as either independent contractors or contract laborers. This topic often causes confusion, so we're here to clarify the criteria used in these determinations to prevent any costly surprises during your audit. It's essential to understand that workers' compensation is governed at the state level. In Colorado, the Department of Labor enforces the rules set out in the Workers' Compensation Act. All carriers providing workers' compensation coverage in Colorado must adhere to these regulations. Under the Colorado Workers' Compensation Act, all personnel on a construction site must have workers' compensation coverage, with a few exceptions for independent contractors. These individuals are the focus of our discussion, as they can legally opt out of workers' compensation. We'll begin with compliance, or the paper trail rules. Rule number 1, an independent contractor should not be a W-2 paid employee, but rather paid as a 1099 contractor. Rule number 2, an independent contractor must have a registered entity with the Secretary of State. We'll include a link to where you can check this in the description of the video. If you're a sole proprietor, you must have a filing with a statement of trade name. Although this may not be required for the IRS or taxation purposes, it is required for work comp. Third rule is that an independent contractor must carry their own general liability insurance. Rule number 4 is regarding how independent contractors must sign 2 work comp rejection forms and file them appropriately. The first is going to be a rejection form with the State Division of Workers' Compensation, and that we're talking about Form WC-43 or WC-45. And if you're a hiring contractor, you can go online to see if the independent contractors have filed their waiver with the state, and we'll put a link for that as well in the video. And then the carrier, Pinnacle, also has an independent contractor rejection form, which should be signed and then submitted to Pinnacle. However, keep in mind, just because a contractor files these 2 waivers does not mean by itself they are considered an independent contractor. The carrier will make the final determination of the independent contractor status at the time of audit. The 5th rule is an independent contractor must be paid according to the rules. Payments must be made to their established business or trade name, not to the individual. So John Smith Construction LLC, but not just John Smith. Payments should also not be made at a salary or hourly wage. They must be relative to a signed contract. And payments should match invoices received from your independent contractor because auditors will ask for invoices. And then if any one independent contractor has annual invoices that exceed $150,000, this tends to trigger a further investigation because the auditor will assume that the independent contractor is not working alone. The next 3 rules are related to one another because they address who independent contractors work with. The first, most foundational rule is that independent contractors must work alone. A true independent contractor cannot bring anyone else to the job site with them to help, whether they're an employee or not. They cannot bring a relative, a friend, a temp worker, or any subcontractor. Because we just established that independent contractors must work alone, this means they cannot be part of a crew. For example, anyone that's part of a framing crew cannot be an independent contractor because they're all working together. Furthermore, if you have 3 framers as W-2 employees and you want to hire 2 more subcontracted framers, the 2 subcontractors you hired to help your in-house framing crew cannot qualify as independent contractors because they do not work alone. The next one is that not all trades qualify to be independent because they work in tandem with others. For example, superintendents can almost never be independent because they are acting on behalf of the general contractor. Or another example is if you're a laborer with no specific trade skills, it's not likely to be independent because without any skills, it's unlikely that you can do your job without supervision. Lastly, we'll go over the rules involving relationships with the hiring contractor. Independent contractors should not have tools or benefits provided to them. If they're driving the hiring contractor's trucks or using the hiring contractor's tools, or the hiring contractor provides benefits like agreeing to pay for their health or general liability insurance. There are a few other rules that exist in general but have some exceptions, such as independent contractors should not be given specific working hours. They should not be given more than minimal training, and they should not be required to only work for one business. One simple solution to avoid any issues is to require every subcontractor to purchase workers' compensation. However, we understand that's not always a realistic option. and that's why we're here to help you become familiar with these rules. I hope this has helped clear up any confusion, but please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact our agency. We are here and we're happy to help. Thanks for watching this video, and we hope to speak with you soon.